So everyone take a moment and think back to the good old days when we were little kids in second or third grade, when we had just one classroom, cool teachers, all your friends in your class, easy classes. You had great times for lunch and recess, which was awesome. Everyone loved recess. You'd go out and you'd play on the playground, maybe push a friend on the swing. All of a sudden, a bully comes over and shoves a kid off the swing. Gets hurt, falls, maybe scrapes his knee, who knows. But bully runs off, and you're the only one there helping him. Teacher sees it and comes over and starts yelling at you, thinks that you're the one that did it. And little child you doesn't really understand what's happening, but you know that you're being blamed for something that definitely was not your fault. Now, there's two choices. One is to tell the truth that you didn't do it and get the bully in trouble, or tell the truth that, or don't tell the truth, lie and say that you did it and you're going to get in trouble. I know it's a hard decision, but when you really get down to it, you need to tell the teacher that the bully did it and it wasn't your fault, because by telling this truth, it'll set you free. Gloria Steinem once said, "The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off." Now, freedom, as we know, is a right that everyone deserves and wants. Now, it hasn't always been the way that it is now, where everyone has this right, but everyone wants it. Look at slaves. For the longest time, actually since pretty much the beginning of time, there have been slaves of some sort. And it's always just been awful, because there's this group of people who've been forced into labor and doing things that they didn't want to do. They didn't have this right, and it wasn't fair. As times changed, we were given this truth. We learned that maybe everyone does deserve this right, and this truth set a lot of people free. Literally, it gave them freedom to go live their own lives. Another thing that's a little more recent is the pay equality between men and women. When you look at it over the last 20 years, it has the gap between the two halves decreased, but there's still a gap. This wasn't a problem until recently. People started actually explaining that there is a very noticeable gap of pay between men and women, and this lack of equality just isn't fair. This truth that we learned has made a lot of people's lives better, because now women are making as much money as men, or close to. Now, another way to look at it is that truth explains freedom, but it does hurt to some extent. So if we all look at one of our favorite shows, Friends, one of the episodes, Chandler kisses Ross's mom. Weird episode, everything's going wrong, and it's not really Chandler's fault, but it happens. Instead of telling the truth immediately, he lets this lie kind of fester that nothing happened, and it just keeps going and going and going. But then as we find out that, as Ross finds out that Chandler kissed his mom, he gets super upset. And the way that it should have been is that Chandler should have just told him immediately what had happened, and it would have been a lot less violent. Although the truth did hurt at first, Ross does get over it, and they're still friends by the end of it. Another one, a big one that's also very relevant, is police brutality. So for the longest time now, especially in America, we've seen just this unfair treatment of police with minorities, especially minorities. We see that African American or Latin people are often brutalized a lot more often than their white counterparts. This truth wasn't noticed for a long time, but now that we've seen it, we're realizing that police need to be put on check more and watched, and everyone has a right to video cops, because things like this have happened. People have been killed for reasons they really shouldn't have. Gloria Steinem once said, "The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off." Just like freedom of slaves, or pay equality, police brutality, or your good old show Friends, we see that truth will set you free because it allows a lot of better things to happen in your life. But at first, it pisses a lot of people off.
Jonathan Renfro, ladies and gentlemen.